Well,
Absolutely.
you two ladies been around Hollywood for a long time.
And together.
Really? Yes,
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
RKO, Columbia. Tell me.
I was
Well-
at Columbia first, and then I went to RKO.
I was at RKO first, and then I went to Columbia.
What was your first? Higher and Higher was your first film?
Well,
That was your-
first one of. Actually, I think I did the picture with Robert.
Sinatra?
No, yes, that was with Frank Sinatra.
But that was your first?
Melter May. No, I did a show before that.
You
called
did?
West of the Pecos with Bob Mitchum.
Didn't know
That's
that.
not-
I thought everybody said that Barbara Hale was in Higher and Higher, the first film she ever did. She played a debutante.
Oh my, yes. Oh,
You were a model from Chicago, Illinois, Barbara
that's
Hale.
right, dear.
Getting back to your career.
Yes.
First came to Hollywood, right?
Yes.
That was your model, actress, from
Well-
Rockford, Illinois to Chicago.
Our hometown.
Our hometown.
Skippy.
Yes, I'm from Rockford,
You
too.
know
I know you
that.
But tell me, Chicago, and then Hollywood.
Right, dear.
Did you ever study acting? I mean, how did Barbara Hale get in the movies?
Well, it was kind of a fluke, to be honest with you. I wanted to be a commercial artist,
Uh-huh.
and I had an opportunity to do some modeling to make a little money to help subsidize my living in Chicago,
Right.
and through that, I had a chance to come out to Hollywood.
To the West Coast, I see.
Yes,
And you met?
that's where I met this one.
This is where you met.
My love.
And you met your lovely husband, actor
Bill Williams. Yes, absolutely.
That was before me.
He was a Western,
Oh, come on.
Western star, Bill Williams.
Yes, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, he did a lot of pictures before that.
And the director that was supposed to direct it, Charles Vidor, didn't show up, and so Mr. Cohen directed it. And I did a scene from Claudia. They had found me in summer stock and sent me to New York for my test. And he draped a lot of pearls around my neck that he'd gotten from Josephine Johnson, the debutante of the year. Can you imagine doing Claudia, and the boy was too short that I worked with, so I had to take my shoes off. And anyway, I did the test, and the next day I went in to see it, and they said, "Oh, we've got to do something with her nose. Oh, she has no fanny. That's terrible. She has no bust." I thought, well, I just might as well go home. You know, I didn't expect anything anyway, so it was okay. And I went back, and that was in July. And 2 weeks later, I received a letter saying, "Come to Hollywood. Here's your contract." So I wrote a letter back to Mr. Cohen, and I said, "I'm pregnant. What'll I do?" Meaning, should I have the baby in Boston, where I was, you know, or should I come to Hollywood and have the baby? He sent me a wire back, "Have it."
Have it?
Just have it. And he was always very, very nice to me, very nice to me, always very concerned. However, I do have a funny story about him. In New York, you know, he had a brother named Jack Cohen.
Jack Cohen.
And Jack did the financial and the well, getting the money and the business end of it in New York, and Harry did the pictures out here. Well, at one time, Jack and Harry were in his office together, and unhappily, because they didn't like each other. And
You're trying to tell me they didn't really...
they didn't get along
Really?
at all. No.
That's a nice way to put it.
That's right. And they're sitting there thinking, and Jack said to Harry, "Harry, why don't we do a Bible story?" And Harry said, "A Bible story? For crying out loud, what do you want to do a Bible story for?" He said, "You don't even know anything about the Bible." He said, "Well, they make money." He said, "Look, it's Foreign Legion makes money. Westerns, you've been doing Westerns, they make money. There's no what do you call it? You don't have to pay any money for it, in other words, you know." So he said, "Well, you could make money with it." And Harry said, "Jack, what do you know about the Bible? You don't even know the Lord's Prayer." Jack said, "I do too." And he said, "You do not?" And Jack said, "I do." And Harry said, "I'll bet you $50 you don't know the Lord's Prayer."
That's Mr. Cohen.
And Jack said, "Yes, I do." And he bet $50, and two $50 bills are there. He said, "Okay." Harry said to Jack, "Let me hear you say it." And he put his little head up in the air, and Jack said, "Now I lay me down to sleep."
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. And Harry said, "That's enough. I didn't know you knew it. Take the money."
That's gorgeous.
Was he really a tough man, though?
He wasn't to
He
me.
wasn't tough?
I can only judge people, you know,
Did you
for the
meet
way
your
they-
husband, Eldo Ray, your ex-husband, Eldo Ray, through Jack Cohen at
Harry
Columbia?
Cohen?
Did
No.
you? How did you meet Eldo Ray? You were married to Eldo Ray,
Uh-huh.
a fine
And,
actor.
I was George Cukor's test girl. And
Test girl means you
means
test
that
with everybody.
when Katharine Hepburn
Yes.
didn't come to
Yes.
test with her boys,
Yes,
her
I see.
leading pet. And in this one of the marrying kind was Judy Holliday.
Right.
And they were both wonderful ladies, just wonderful. And I was just, and of course I adored Mr. Cukor. He was just a marvelous director. And so he called me in this day and he said, now you're going to work with 4 gentlemen. One was Jack Lemmon, which got him the test, and one was Richard Kiley, one was Jack Carter, and one was Aldo Ray. And we were up in the dressing room, and Mr. Cohen, we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and no Aldo. And I was getting madder and madder and madder. And he finally sauntered in the door like he had all the time in the world, and by this time I'm just furious for him to keep a man like Mr. Cukor waiting, you know. He sat down, he said, hi, you know, in his voice like this and everything. I thought, oh, that nut. I sat down, and then I said, Aldo, don't you know enough to say, excuse me, Mr. Cukor, for being late? What? Huh? What? You know, he thought it was really funny. And I was so upset, and that's how I met Aldo.
Aldo, and you fell in love with him.
I was mad.
But you were mad.
Oh, I didn't fall in love with him for quite a while. I was really mad.
Barbara Hale.
Yes.
Just got through doing the Perry Mason, finished with a lovely English actress. What's her
Right,
name?
Jean Simmons.
Simmons.
Oh,
I think
what a
she is
lovely
great lady. How is she to work with?
Oh, she's just divine,
Is she?
really, truly. We had wonderful, wonderful times on the set, because actually there was a little hostility going on.
Hostility?
A little bit, a little
Like what?
bit, a little jealousy, you know.
'Cause there is jealousy on the sets.
Well,
girls, aren't
no,
there?
not.
No?
This had to do with the script.
Oh, really?
Don't you see?
I see.
She was Perry's ex-lover.
I see.
And now you know Della would be
Yeah.
upset with that, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it all turns out pretty well. You have to see the full picture in
When
order
is it-
to
when does it
find
air?
out the outcome.
It airs when?
It airs next Monday.
It airs next Monday?
Yes, February 23rd. And do what?
How many years you been on the Perry Mason show now? I mean, you.
All my life.
How many years has been?
No, actually, we started in 57
57.
and worked until the middle of 66.
It's been a very successful show.
We were very fortunate, and it's played all over, you know, and keeps playing and playing and playing. You should see it in Japanese.
Tell me something, Barbara Hale. You seem very happy right now. You're married, you have lovely children.
Right.
And you have
we
a
three
lovely,
beautiful children,
Go ahead.
and we have 4 gorgeous grandchildren.
And you have a very talented son that's in the business. Billy.
Bill Cat.
That's right.
Yes.
And what is he doing right now? What is Bill doing?
Well, he just came back from a little ski trip, to be very honest with you, and he's leaving tomorrow to do the next Perry Mason show. I follow him by 2 days.
So he has been doing a lot of Perry Mason shows.
Yes, he's done every one so far, and then he will finish that in about a month and a half, and he will be home for 3 days, then he leaves for Africa.
Oh, I see.
And he's going to do a picture over
So
in
you're
Africa.
busy in your life nowadays.
Oh, yes.
Last time I spoke to you, you had a hip. Something about your
I
hip.
did
But you're
that.
better. You're okay now.
Thank God,
Yeah,
yes.
you look
Yeah,
great.
feel good.
Jeff
Feel
Donnell.
good, thanks to this one.
What?
She's been my mainstay,
She
you know.
has?
Yeah.
We've been going together steady for years.
What's new and exciting in your life right now? I mean, you're in General Hospital, I know. Every day you're doing General Hospital?
No, not every day.
No?
No, it's just a perfect time for me because I just do enough so that I'm happy with it, and you know, it's just great. It's just
Well,
great.
that's the way with doing the Masons, too.
Is it? You're
Yeah.
happy just doing...
Because, you see, we're not working like on an everyday schedule. Like
Yes.
a series is, good
It's hard.
heavens.
It's hard work.
We've
It's
done that.
difficult.
You've done it. You paid your dues on that, yeah.
I've done a lot of
And,
series.
Yeah.
and believe me, well, think of the hours when you were working with George.
George
Goebel.
Goebel's show. Yes, you played Alice. You
Yeah.
played his wife for many years. You were on that show for about 5 years?
4.
4?
4.
That was a great show. Tell me about George Goebel.
I
What's-
couldn't wait to get to work, and I hated to go home. He was just a wonderful man.
George
He's
Goebel.
so much fun and just so great. I can't tell you. He's just a funny, funny man. The only other man that I dig comedians. I'm very fond of comedians. I would like to work with Tim Conway. I really like Tim Conway too, but I adored and loved George and still do.
You say you did comics, but you don't go to the comedy store.
I do, you
Tell
know.
me something. Do you go to the comedy store? And
No,
see
I've
that
never
film?
been. I haven't
That
got anybody
film,
to take me.
it's, well, maybe I'll take you.
Oh, that's
Jeff,
a deal.
Believe me.
I've never been.
If you
Jeff.
ask him for his phone number now,
Jeff,
I
believe
know
me.
what you're up
I'm
to.
embarrassed.
I gotta know. Marty Alonso. You did a movie with
Yes.
him. I want to know. I loved him.
Oh.
I think
I
he was
really-
beautiful voice.
I really
Beautiful
adored
man.
Mario.
Was he?
was.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought so.
Yeah, he was really
Yes.
a very, very nice man to me. I played Jimmy Whittemore's girlfriend. I'm always the girlfriend. I'm a supporting player, and which is a wonderful category
Keeps
to
you
be
working
in.
all the time. How many
You-
films
you
have
have
you
a
done?
lot.
You've done a
I've
lot.
800,000.
She has done a lot. Jeff
Believe
Donnell has
me.
been in
Yeah, I've
a
done
lot
a
of
lot
films.
of films. About 64, I guess, and I don't know how many hundreds of TVs. But Mario was just darling, and it was so sweet because his wife would used to bring these huge picnic baskets full of all Italian food,
So he
and
ate.
garlic would just, just flow out of the dressing room. But he was loads of fun. He always was singing and happy, and it was fun.
Robert Young, tell me, working with Robert Young in that wonderful movie. I just
my
adore that
goodness.
movie.
Well, Robert Young is like one of our family because Bill did 2 pictures with him.
Right.
And I did 3 pictures with him.
You did 3.
Yes, and one of the Marcus Welby's. And he's just a delightful man. And I'm very thrilled. I think he's going to come back like the Masons.
You think
I
so?
hope.
Oh, that's great.
I hope. I certainly hope
Do
so.
you go to Rockford yet? Do you still go back home and see your lovely people back there?
I can't wait. I think I'm going to be able to go in about a month and a half.
You
Yes.
are.
Yes.
Her super mother's here with her now. She's got a wonderful, wild.
My mom.
Oh, she's a funny lady.
Jeff Donnell, what are you holding in your lap there? I just can't see. What is those 2 things
Oh, I
there?
do hope you can get them on camera. They've never been on camera.
What are they?
Well,
they
this is Barbara, and this is Jeff. Now, Barbara and I did a tour for Columbia with 2 pictures we were in, and we did 28 cities. And let's see, is that right, Barbara? In 27 days, from San Francisco to Bangor, Maine. 26 days.
26 days.
And this is what we looked like at the end of the tour.
They were very pretty at one
They're
time.
cute. They're cute.
Well, and then Barbara gave them to me, and since then, they're going to be so happy to be on television.
My God, you've had them for many years.
They're about 38 years old
30.
now.
Poor old thing.
Lovely. You should give them to Jane Witters. You know,
No, we
yeah.
don't
No,
do.
no.
Jane would have the whole warehouse full.
she
of
does.
them.
When I had
She lives
my
in that
broken
warehouse.
hip, you know, Jeff sent a messenger with the flowers and the balloons and the 2 girls. Only she had made crutches for this one. I had crutches then. I've had many gags.
So
many
now I
laughs.
think they're going to go to Denver, so they can be in a Perry Mason.
You're leaving for Denver to do another Perry Mason
Yes,
now. I see.
I leave in a couple of days.
I see. You're a busy
Isn't that
lady.
nice?
Yeah, it's nice. Jeff Donnell, Hollywood. Originally, you're from where?
I was born in a boys' reformatory in Maine.
Really?
And then I left at 2 and went to Maryland. And my father was superintendent of another boys' reformatory there. And I graduated from high school in Towson, Maryland, and went to Boston to drama school. I wanted to teach children's play, direct children's plays. And then after that,
And she'd be magnificent.
Well, I think so too.
I would like that.
Why not? You can still do it. You can still.
and then I
Still
went
do
to
it.
Yale Drama School.
You went to Yale Drama.
And then I did summer stock, and Max Gordon, Max Arno saw me in a play, and that's when I went to New York, and Mr. Cohen tested me.
Films, stage. Prefer what? Stage?
Oh, I did leads on the stage, and I really think there's nothing like the satisfaction you get out of an audience. Everybody says that, but it's the truth. But I haven't done it in years.
Everybody says that. It terrifies me.
It does.
You don't.
Absolutely.
As long as I've known her, she'd say, let's do a play.
She's never
we
done
have
one,
yet
huh?
to do a play.
Never, Barbara?
Well,
No.
then I just get terrified.
We're going to do Ladies in Retirement before you know
Now,
it.
What do you think about arsenic and old lace, honey?
I saw Barbara Hale's son sing, and he was wonderful on stage. He was at home.
Oh, he
was
loves the theater.
a neat
completely
boy.
at home on
He
stage.
loves the theater.
Yes, theater, Los Angeles. Is it coming?
Oh, I think, did you see the papers this morning? It had all kinds of theaters that have
Wonderful.
won awards and nominations.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
great. Marie Windsor, our mutual friend, is
Yes, I
up
love
for
her.
a nomination. She's a
She was wonderful in
darling
the bar.
lady.
The Melrose Bar?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
wonderful.
Wasn't that
She was wonderful.
was she
Yeah,
good?
Yeah.
So we went to that, and of course Lily Tomlin I adore, and I'm happy she's up, you know.
So there is a lot of theater in Los Angeles now. There
Yeah,
is
lots of
becoming,
it. Yeah, lots of it.
Why don't you teach acting for children? Why don't you?
I don't know, I haven't gotten around to it.
Susan Strasberg's teaching acting here in Los Angeles now. A lot of actors. Kim Stanley's here teaching. Why
I
doesn't?
have 4 grandbabies.
Why does not?
You have 3 grandbabies.
Jeff
2
Donnell?
grandbabies.
4.
4.
You have 3 boys
4.
and a girl, not
Yes,
three.
There
that's
aren't any really good coaches for teenage actresses or kids.
Oh, I think there are a lot
Are
more
there?
than you think.
Here in
of.
Los
And
Angeles?
a lot of. I did teach for a while.
Oh, you
I
did?
teach. I taught teenagers. I taught teenagers. But you know, there's a heartbreaking thing
Old
where.
ladies too.
And as a matter of
taught me
fact,
for a while.
I taught her son for a little bit. But there's the heartbreak where you get somebody who wants so badly to do it, and they really don't. You don't think they have the talent. I just could not take the money from them.
What makes you see they don't have it, Jeff? Could you tell me real quickly, like, what is there a certain?
It isn't charisma. It's a natural understanding. I think you have to have something basically that it's either a personality, because movies are certainly personality.
Yes,
you know,
yes, of
actors
course.
or they are talented, and you either see that, I think, or you don't. I just couldn't take the money. I have been told that take the money, Jeff, because other people will if you don't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
And she really couldn't.
No, I
and in
couldn't
fact,
do it.
I've watched her, and
No, I couldn't.
and she ended up supporting too many young people,
I
just from a
couldn't.
standpoint of helping. And
Looking back over your life, Barbara.
yes, darling.
Oh my
did-
Lord!
Looking back.
Don't say that to
I'm
me.
going to. I want to know. Do you
Yes,
have
honey.
any regrets?
Any regrets?
Do you have any?
I have been so blessed. How could I have a regret, Skip?
I don't know. I'm just asking you.
No, I really don't think so. I just, you know, Jeff, we've had good times. We've had a few very bad times, you know. But if you had just all sunshine and not a few clouds,
Right.
how would you appreciate the sun? It sounds
true.
kind of silly, but I think some of our sad times, as far as Jeff and I are concerned, has actually brought us closer together as friends. And I think as far as our life is concerned, it makes us a stronger person.
We completely support one another. We really do. I don't know what we do without each other.
You seem very happy.
I'm fine.
Are you content where you are right now in your life?
I am. I really am. Barbara said
Would you
that
like
the
to-
other day
Okay.
to me. She thought that I was, and I think I am too.
Yeah, you seem very content, very happy, and very peaceful. Both of you ladies do. You seem very happy and very...
We're
I just-
lucky.
Yeah, you're very lucky. You've been around Hollywood. You have had a good life. Have you been married how many times?
Oh, no. Now, don't ruin the whole thing.
I just got
Rat, you rat thing. I'm not going to go to the comedy store with you.
Yes, I would. I'm just kidding. Do you have any children?
I have 2. One boy in Tucson. He's the head of a private school there, who just won all
Yeah.
kinds. Yeah, he just
My
won all kinds of
goodness.
awards for his school and went to Washington to receive them. And he's on the National Board of Education for the Southwestern Private Schools. And I have a girl who's business manager in San Francisco for Porsche Audi.
How nice. Very
And 4 grandchildren.
great. Working with Lucille Ball years ago. Do you see any change today?
Well,
Tell
when
me.
I worked with Lucy, she had not, of course, done any of the television.
She did movies.
No, and of course her comedy wasn't as broad. We did The Fuller Brush Girl.
Right.
And we did Easy Living and with Sonny Tufts.
Where did you do that? Was that at
RKO.
RKO?
Yeah.
RKO.
Because Lucy and Desi were going together
Yeah.
when I was first at RKO.
Sonny Tufts was there. As a matter of fact, one of the RKO pictures was on last night, Walk Softly Stranger with Joe
Oh, you're
Cotton.
kidding. Oh, my God.
And so she wasn't the broad comedian
Yes.
then. She was funny.
Yeah.
Funny. And very, very ambitious, you know. Nice lady. Interest in square dancing and fun and, you know,
Yes.
but she was all business.
Larry Parks. Jolson sang again. Loved him.
We were both
Wonderful.
very close to
Very
Larry.
close to Larry, yes.
Larry and Betty, his wife.
Betty Garrett.
You
Lovely lady.
Garrett.
Yeah,
It was
lovely
a
lady.
wonderful one-woman show.
I saw it at the Westwood.
great.
I
Did
saw
you
it.
see that,
Oh
Skip?
yes, I had to.
Great.
I love her. I think she's a very talented
I wish
lady.
they'd do a
Yes.
special
I
of
saw her,
that.
and matter of fact,
I
she was
really
on the
do.
same show your son was on.
Oh.
Betty Garrett was on that show too.
Oh,
She sang.
was she? Oh,
You got to get that video.
I
She was
want to
wonderful.
see that
Betty sang that.
show.
She
Yes.
did a number. She was
Oh,
wonderful.
really?
But I must say, Barbara Hale,
Yes, dear.
RKO Studios. How many years were you under contract?
I was there, how long was it? 6 years?
Long time.
No, about 5 years.
They loaned
I
you
think.
out to Columbia, though. You were.
No, I went to Columbia.
You went to Columbia.
I went to
I-
Columbia
We did the same
to
exact
The
thing.
same thing. You
we
guys
traded.
traded.
I went to Dory Sherry, she went to Harry Cohen.
Yes,
They
right.
had stock players those days.
Oh, yes, yes.
Rita Hayworth. I got to ask. Tell me about her, ladies. You both met her. Rita Hayworth.
Rita
You know.
was very, oh, she was so beautiful. She's just so
She was
beautiful.
breathtaking. She
And
was
very, very
just
quiet. In hairdressing and
shy.
what, yeah, she was very shy.
She was?
yeah.
Truly shy.
But you know, a few years ago, this is 10 years ago now, I guess, I was in a writer's home, and the telephone rang, and it was Rita calling him. And he said, oh, a friend of yours from Columbia is here. And she said, who? And he said, Jeff. And she said, oh, let me talk to her. And at that time, I was helping some people in wholesale gifts downtown. And she said, well, she said on the phone, she said, hi, Jeff, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm downtown doing wholesale gifts with some friends of mine. She said, my dear, weren't we all at Columbia? Weren't we all wholesale, you know? And I thought it was so funny because you didn't really expect Rita to come out with something like that. She's very
Who's your-
funny.
Looking back in your careers at RKO and Hollywood, who are some of the most exciting directors you people worked with that you really enjoyed working with?
Oh, my.
Do you have any favorites? You like George Cukor is your favorite.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Do you know what? I don't think you really know it. I tested for Born yesterday.
You did.
Miss Max Arno put a blonde wig on me. I tested for Born yesterday, and Mr. Cukor was the director,
Oh, it's wonderful. I
which
didn't
was
know
the
that.
greatest thrill of my
Really?
life. Yes, I never knew it was such fun to be a blonde.
Or to be a woman, because he really knew how to handle women.
Oh, he was wonderful.
He did? Yes, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, oh, yes, he said just the right. And then he would turn around and say the worst kind of words to a man if he thought that would get through to a man. Every four-letter word in the book to a man if he knew that was the way you got
He
through
was a
to
man.
this man.
He was a man. Yes.
You know,
Yes, I see. But
to
a
the
woman,
man.
he treated a lady.
Oh, yes, and got right. And he always would whisper his directions. He would never, you know, some directors yell and scream and tell you, oh, no, you did it wrong. He'd always be very
Katharine
quiet.
Hepburn. Do you think that was her favorite, George Cukor?
Oh, I bet. I bet
They're
without
very
a doubt.
close.
They're very good friends. Yes, I bet.
I don't know.
Spencer Tracy. Ladies, did you ever meet him?
No.
No,
Never?
unfortunately,
No, we didn't.
no.
Yes.
I never met Katharine Hepburn.
Never met Katharine Hepburn.
My dream, just to meet
You
that
have met,
lady.
Jeff?
Have you met Jeff? That's one thing I've always
How was your
wanted
incident
to do.
meeting her? What was it?
We were, well, of course, Aldo did a picture with her.
Right. Elder.
Pat and Mike.
Pat and Mike. Elder Ray did,
Yeah.
yes.
And then we flew from New York to Los Angeles on
Yes.
a plane trip, and so we had the whole trip to talk. And she's
nice.
really nice lady.
She lives in New York now, doesn't she? She's
Yes.
very quiet, very private. That's the
Well,
way
gee, I would be too if I were her age, wouldn't you?
her age.
How old is she?
I don't know.
I think so.
Hollywood has changed, ladies.
Dynamite.
Has Hollywood changed a lot?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Good or bad? I want to know. Good or bad? Barbara
Well,
Hale,
I tell
Jeff
you,
Donnell?
if we had a bottle in a dressing room at Columbia, you didn't stay there very long. You were out the door. It was found and you were out. Wasn't that true?
If
Well,
you
you're
had a
talking about
Drinking.
the
About morals.
authority
Yeah.
and morals.
morals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Today,
There was complete leadership,
And you were scared of
and I was comparing it to talking to somebody yesterday, and I think it was kind of like being on campus.